evening, cool cats, cool dudes, and Daniel James. Welcome to this. We all love Leeds, and this is the third episode, which will be basically a match review of the Friday night game between Leeds United and West Bromwich Albion, and general Leeds chat. Joined by my co-host, the main man, Mr. Ben. How are you, sir?
Very well, Mr. Tom. How are you?
I've been a lot worse. I'd just like to take an apology for there being no show last week. It turns out that I have issues. Anyway, less said about them, the better. We played a game on Friday night.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I was. Do you know? I didn't know what to think when I was going into it, but coming out of it, I seen what needs, the obvious, but I was pleasantly surprised, and I could say my mood was happy. At the end of the day, we pulled a point, and I think we should have won, but I didn't expect anything from that starting lineup, and I think they did perform well. So I'm not gonna rip into them too much. It's a case
it's understandable. Yeah. I'm of a similar thinking. So I'll say hello to Pinkush and Ian. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by.
Good evening, Ian.
How are you?
I'll put you. Yep. I will replace you back in the chat, Ian. I had a hissy fit, so we'll talk about
that. We all do things that we later wish I hadn't. Same as me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad day. So I apologise, and I will re-add you as soon as. That's if you want to let me know.
I'll tell you who has got issues, depending on your point of view. Mr. Tyler Adams, who was he's left our institution. You got anything to say on that, Mr. Ben?
I will, for the sake of the show, but really no. Look, I hold no animosity to him. It was evident that we missed him when he got injured last season. So for that, I thank him. Not that he's thanked us. But other than that, look, I expect if we don't go up, we'll see him next season doing the same thing with Bournemouth. I think you're going to get that with non-tour Everton as well. They can learn the hard way. Just make sure you put a relegation clause in his contract. He'll probably learn his lesson this time. But look, I've got no bitterness to Tyler Adams. I'm glad the Americans are gone, and I don't want Josh Sargent. So, yeah. But I know you wanted to comment on that.
Well, yeah. Before I do that, I'm just going to say some hellos. Hello to Mark, Spawny Mark, as he likes to be known on the YouTube. Mr.'s in the house, and good riddance. And then hello to
Every
Bandy.
Time it's Spawny, right? I can just hear James saying it. Spawny.
Bandy has said all our games have been the same so far. We've been on top with some players missing, others down in tools. It's not too bad. You know what? That's a fair comment.
It is a fair comment, and I agree. I agree totally with that. Not so sure about Birmingham. I think that was just a dire game. Birmingham just as dire. Evidently missing a number 10. But going back to the Cardiff game, Bandy, where we disagreed, I agreed with what you said. We played lovely football, but where we disagreed is it was Cardiff at home, and we should have won. But looking at what's going on at the club and what Farker's got to actually play with, then look, we haven't suffered massive damage, have we? And we seem to be competitive, so there's something to hold on to.
Yeah, I felt I didn't really get into it, but I felt the second half was almost as good as the first half was bad.
Yeah.
For us, I feel in that particular game, as we're going to get into, sadly, some familiar traits have followed us back down from the Premier League. But again, nothing that can't be corrected, and things I expect to be corrected. But just something I noticed on this is like the Leeds equivalent of like dry texting someone. because usually our so-and-so has left are a lot more like, thank you for your service, good luck on your thing. And this is like, yeah, he's just gone, ain't he?
Yeah, and I get the feeling that that's the attitude of the club now. It's like, right, off you go. You don't want to be here, off you go. And
On to Ipswich.
I'm just,
right. Hello,
I'm
Gary.
glad.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad whatever went down with Bournemouth, and because there was some legal issues, weren't there? Let's be honest. I'm glad they came to some sort of arrangement. And look, we could have got a lot more, but we weren't in a position to get a lot more. So 23 million, I'm happy. It's more than his release clause. There's add-ons, so we'll take that, and let's just hope we invest that properly. And do you know what it is? I've got complete faith that we will. I don't think I don't think we'll get a lot of Leeds fans thinking 6 to 8 players. I think 6 is a minimum personally, but I don't think we'll get the complete amount that we want. But I think we'll get enough quality to take us to January anyway. So, and then we can reevaluate. So, I'm hoping anyway. So.
That's fair. Just want to say hello to.
Hey Gary.
I know his name's Gary. I don't know why. I was even talking to him this morning. But the Bandy wants me to check the stats. I'm too busy washing my hair, mate.
No, it's not a case of you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. The stats speak exactly what we want.
Are the stats.
I'm just saying I weren't getting excited like you did because it was Cardiff at home and Cardiff at Dross. The league table says Cardiff at Dross, and the league table
Cardiff
should be beating Cardiff.
We weren't in a position to say it last week, but Cardiff went on to lose to a team that lost 4-0 at home on the opening weekend. So that sort of told you who we were getting pushed around by in that first half.
Look, Leicester put them away at home. And that's what we need to be doing. Bother. And that's why I wasn't as praising of some of the football that was played, and some of the football was lovely to watch. It really was, you know, and I could see what little snippets of what Farke's trying to do.
Attacking patterns, passing triangles. Yeah. It was very good.
Yeah, it's very patient, which is I like because let's face it, we've been watching 2 seasons of just rushed dross passing, and it is.
That's true.
So we should be beating Cardiff. We don't beat them often. No, we don't. And you are right, but we should be. Especially when we're the team that's just come down and they're the team that's only just survived.
We'll say good evening to...
Next week, right? Ipswich are top of the league. We should be beating Ipswich. I don't care what start they've had. They've not played Leeds United yet. And in my mind, we should be beating Ipswich next week. But depends what team we've got.
Want to say hello to Riddy, who has popped in. Thank you for doing so. And Ian wants to say, Bandy, I'm guessing he's meant to say it, Bandy was spot on. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion.
No, I'm not taking away your opinions.
No, of course we're not. But we are going to defend our own opinions. Yeah. Oh, he turned out to be right there, to be fair to him. Speaking of, so we lost Tyler Adams, and I took a look around the internet, and the full set of the American Horror Story is finally out of our club. It's done. It's a chapter. It's gone.
I feel sorry for what's his name, Chris. He didn't really have a chance to put any stainage on the club, did he?
No. I imagine he just happens to be a convenient, let's make it look more than it really was type of thing. But hopefully the owners can make a more positive impact for that country on our club.
Well, yeah, which brings me to Bandy's comment. I'm not going to give my verdict on the 49ers until we've done a season and where we're at the end of that season. Even if we don't go up, I'm not going to judge them, but they've come into a mess. Let's be honest, a mess. And
what I will say on that, though, Ben, sorry to interrupt, is it would be easy for us to say, and you're right, you are factually right, But there is also the aspect that they've come into a mess which they sat and watched happen. Now, I know they legally didn't have the means to overturn it, but they were in the room when these things were being put in stone.
Which, for me, sort of backs Bandy here up a bit, is if you sat in that room without control, you know the inevitable that you will be in control. So it's a case of making a damage plan ready. And I don't feel they were ready. I mean, look, we'll never know what they knew and what they didn't, because we're not privy to that information. Everything's speculation at this point. So I try not to speculate. I try and judge on what I see. So let's get this transfer out of the window before we make any pre-decision towards what we feel. But
I mean,
we've got a week and a half or whatever it is left. So we've got money coming in. Depends how quickly we get that tosser out of the club to what we can buy. But I expect the last 3 days to be very busy.
I'm upset that I'm upset that I'm not currently in a position to ban him, because I haven't logged in on my phone on the actual channel, so he's safe.
No, you're all right. You keep it up, Nightmare. Nightman.
According to him, I have more birthdays than the Queen, to be fair. So I don't have the wealth to show for it, but I can't really think of a clever segue to do this. All right, like I could be like, oh, baby, Nonto's a baby.
That's brilliant, wasn't it?
I mean, it's something. And do you know, this is true.
Fair play for
I wanted
to want the sky for showing it.
I went as I'm known to do. I'm known to search the internet for things, and I wanted to try and find other examples where they've done other footballers in a certain way, and I couldn't find anything that had a footballer with his head on the baby. Now I'm sure there is.
It is the Biggie Smalls baby, isn't it? Off not ready to die. It's Biggie Smalls baby off his album cover.
You know what? We'll just say that's yes.
Mark,
I'm totally down with the streets. So we'll say yes. If it was the Smurfs Go Pop or something, I might have known. Anyway, and some people said we should give the fisheye full a chance, and he relegated us. By some people, are you saying me? Because I may have said certain things, and we did give him a chance. You know what? Whatever.
Right.
Whatever, Trevor.
Listen. Right. Can we move on from this?
You are better than the Queen. So kind of you, Nemeth. And then, Mark, you mean playing for the badge? Yeah, because Mark said, I feel Leeds' problem lies in a lack of passion in their play. Interesting.
I don't think there was a lack of passion the other night. I just think there was a lack of quality for creativity.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use. Because, do you know, something, like, before we get into the game and that, something I find a lot of Leeds fans say, which yeah, it's all well and good saying it, but it's like we're the only team. We think like we're the only team that demand 100% effort from our players. Man City fans demand 100% effort from their players, but they also have the best players and the quality that comes with it. And I'd quite like to have a Leeds team of players that are of a standard slightly above the Championship or enough to get us points.
Yeah.
I'd quite like to have good players as opposed to
We missed a chance. It was the first year we came up, basically. And look, I get the loyalty, and the fact we had no fans helped us massively. And that's where the book starts. The first season we came up, we didn't put the quality in the squad then, and replaced it with absolute arse dross. Excuse my French. Shit.
I've got an unpopular take on Leeds, Ben. I actually think we survived the first season because fans weren't in attendance. I know the real reason is because we got points. I know it's because we won matches.
Yeah, but I think that made it easier.
Yeah,
Ellen
because the
Road's
Ellen
toxic.
Road faithful, exactly, because the Ellen Road faithful didn't decide we're going to lose the game after the first misplaced pass. It turned into, all right, it's gone wrong, but there's no one around letting us know that it went wrong apart from Marcelo. But we just fix
When
it
we're
and we
2
carry
0
on.
up, 3 0 up, when we're battering a team, Ellen Road's the greatest place in the world. But
Yep.
whenever there's anything off it, or Leeds are going through a bad run, or they go 1-0 down, and do you think the players can't feel that anxiety in the air, that atmosphere? And of course, they're humans, Ellen Road, the fans go on about away fans, brilliant, best in the world, can't fault them. But home fans, I thought it as a kid. I thought this is why Leeds is shit, because of this place.
I think we make it too easy for the opposition fans to have a great day at Ellen Road. And I don't mean like we should wait outside and beat them up. I don't mean like that. What I mean is it's very easy for them to get behind their team because we're already on our team for failure when they haven't actually failed yet in the match. But let's get on to Bandy with Angus Kinnear. It's a punk. You could tell he was the kid that got beaten up every day in school. That's a fair point. Obviously, I have no powers of time machine or that to know whether that's actually true, but you can believe it. Mark, I've always said that. Russ Morgan is here. It could be worse. You could be an Evertonian. Well, it's funny you say that, Nem. If this get Russ Morgan's here, and then Bad Night Man using that word. I believe it's soccer. The word. But speaking of Everton, let's get into our new segment. I haven't got a graphic for it. Of Tom/Ben/Leeds take the piss out of our enemies, which is Everton. Everton fans, stop being crap. Everton, make me. Because they're crap. Manchester United. If you spend 400 million in a year and get dominated by Wolves and Spurs, maybe the Glazers aren't your biggest problem. Maybe. I'm no expert. The evolution of trash. Because
I like it.
Because that's what they are. They're shit. It could be toilets as well. Anyway, one more. Chelsea, as you can see, this old club is falling apart. Losing to David Moyes. Spending all that money to get beat by West Ham. Football is a funny old game.
Antonio, of all people. I think he'd be good at Leeds in this league. I do. I'd rather have him than Josh Sargent. Anyway, I'm not a mass believer in anything I'm reading about Leeds when it comes to who we're buying, because these don't work like that.
Would you like to answer this? What Riddy is asking? When did Everton become our enemies?
Well, it all comes down to this spoiled little shit called Nonto.
I think it goes further than that.
Got his head turned by. Do you know? I've never really seen Everton as significant enough to hate until they started saying, "We want your players," after screwing us over with financial fair play last year, and I'm thinking, "Fuck you." And
because they're always on the cusp of like, we're going to get investigated of financial fair play. It's like, well, have they found it or not?
But I'm one of these with Everton, right? You clearly need defenders and midfielders. And you think Jack Harrison and Willie Nonto are your answer. Good luck to you. See you next season if we don't go up. And I agree.
Fair,
at what point do these points, or do we find out about this? Do you know, it's ridiculous.
It's like, have they committed a crime or have they not? I hate the old, like, have they, haven't they? It should be fact. They've found it or they haven't.
You should
have if they haven't, I'll shut up.
Yeah, but you should know all in the same season, right? Because other teams get punished for it. I know we'd have gone down anyway because where we finished, but Leicester wouldn't be in that mess. Do you know, they'd still have Maddison, they'd still have Harvey Barnes, they'd still have TV money. if you breach the rules, then you should be done in the same season. It's not. They're financially better off because they're still in that league. So, and they're gaining all that money again for at least another season. When if they have breached, I mean, fair if they haven't, I'm a prick, I'm an idiot. So
lying fucker, Riddy. Sorry, Ben.
But yeah, it's same at the top end of the season, whatever Man City have been up to. So
unbelievable. Really, yeah, not really, Bandy, quite rightly, yeah. I mean, because Everton are the Tottenham of the North, as I always say, because they're so alike, it's unreal. They spend extortionate amounts of money, more so in salary, to then still be under the shadow of a local team that plays in red. I mean, how are they not the same? Who do you hate more, Man United or Chelsea? Man United. But that's like asking, what do you hate more, shit on your face or puke on your face? So,
yeah,
you'd rather neither, wouldn't you?
We've got the little video. There it is.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
I did come across this. Brilliant. I love it. Brilliant. Just in case.
Do it one more time. Do it one more time. One day
so we get on to the game.
Yeah, we can do. But first, we lose Prince Melier of Lorient. We are done. Best keeper we've had in years. Who the hell is Carl Darlow? I think we're about to find out. And then sounds like New York Mets. Yeah. Speak for yourself, Tom.
I don't know if we are about to find out, are we? Oh, we've got a league game before we play Salford. So what
we do? But Salford is after Ipswich. Yeah. Well, I thought I'd take the liberty of throwing up the lineup, and I'll rip this from livescores.com. And I know before anyone goes, Shackleton and James are on the other side. Just like, I didn't make it, but here's the formation. What did you make of that before kickoff? Like, with no knowledge of the game going in, obviously.
Firstly, I looked at the back line. I wanted Creswell for Strike, and I wanted Drama for Ayling. We'll get on to Luke Ayling. Midfield, I was happy with. Up front, I was happy to see that Shackleton want the 10s, But look, he tried, and he's not a winger. The answer for me, if we're struggling, he can play left back. So stick Byron right back, and then put him left back until we get a left back. But yeah, I was worried when I saw the lineup. Pretty much, I just thought, where the goals coming from? Because Rutter's he's not a number 9 for me, and I think we will see the best of him out wide.
But I want to see him playing football, because I'm sick of sitting here going, we've paid 35 million for this guy, and we're on the hook for it, and he's on the bench again. And I don't even really care if you play him at left back. If you pay 35, if Leeds United pay 35 million pounds for a player, that player's on the grass in some form.
Well, Spain did it today, didn't they? They put the right back up front.
Well, it works for some people.
That was awful. Mark, did you watch that?
It wasn't our finest hour, was it?
No.
With his wages, you'd think Nonto can afford a better car. Well, apparently that's part of the problem. Yeah, his agent's furious. Like, you could get more money going. Of course, you can always get more money going to Everton, because they overpay for bang average. Like Victor Orta has.
But the biggest question for me on this team sheet is Melier. Is he staying, and is he number 1?
I'll tell you what I've said all summer, despite what people think, and allegedly him wanting to go to Chelsea or whatever, even though he never really said that. But don't try and upset me, really. And basically, you tend to find that there's not really a market for a goalkeeper that's conceded 100 goals in 2 years. No matter how young he is and his upside, his potential, people look at the stats.
since Farker said, look, I could do players in every position but the goalkeeper, from that moment on, I've thought, right, well, he's in his plans. It's competition, because you take him out the mix, you've got one goalkeeper again. Even though I know he puts Klassen on the bench, he's not quality, is he? Let's be honest. So I think I don't think we have a number one, or if we do, it's Meslier at the moment, and it's for him to either lose or for Darlow to take.
Okay, Leeds fans in the chat, who would you play, Meslier or Darlow? Just you know, like right off the top of your head, if like gun to your head, who you putting in goal? Mark with Darlow. Bandy with, in 4 years, Darlow played 64 times. Forest loaned out to Walsall, played 17 times for Hull. City played 7 times on loan. Newcastle used him 86 times over an 8-year period. Mellier's number one. Fair enough. Ian's gone with Meslier. Nemeth, Darlow, Meslier. No need for a gun. Darlow, Meslier. Thank you for that. So it's very split.
I'm going to go Darlow because of his performances in them 17 games for Hull last season. He was the Championship's best goalkeeper, pretty much. So that's why I'm going to go. He's a good goalkeeper, and he hasn't played enough football for me, and that's Newcastle's fault. I thought he was good enough when they got Dubravka. I still thought Darlow was the better goalkeeper, but obviously I don't see him every day like they do. So that's their decision. And I think for the price we got him for, it's an absolute steal.
It's a great price. Bemph.
And he comes across a lot posher and a lot more primer than I anticipated.
Do you know the poshest footballer is that I've come? It's not Patrick Bamford. Poshest footballer in the Premier League is Danny Ings.
Yeah.
When I heard him talk, I did a double. Now, I don't know what I expected him to sound like, but I did not expect him to sound like he would look down on Patrick Bamford's accent.
Yeah, like he's just come from Eton.
Yeah. There is no club that wants Darlow. That's why we have him. And then,
I love your
to be fair, we're the negative ones. Amazing. It's amazing how football. You can have one opinion on one thing and then totally turns on its head in another thing. It's amazing. Are you ready to get into the match, Ben?
Yeah, let's get into it. So this is our starting lineup. So yeah.
So basically, I've got some of these for the sake of it. I got some of these images through a potato. Okay. So
started out slow, didn't it? Let's be honest.
Ings looks like someone I bought redacted from in college. So
the biggest thing I took out of the first half is full of points that you can pick it to bits for. The biggest positive I took from the first half was they didn't have a shot on goal.
Well, this is I was going to say, took photos of the game, and basically like 7th minute, Byron chance calls it
which was unlucky. It was unlucky.
It really was.
Andy Hinchcliffe was giving him shooting advice, because we all know what a top striker he was, saying wrap your foot round it more, and it was a case of no, that wasn't the problem. It was just he hit it a little bit too hard. The curl, the trajectory was perfect if he'd have just underhit it. So
if he was actually a forward,
absolutely fuck all.
Yeah, if he was actually a forward, then obviously you might expect better. But in 7th minute, it's fine, because
it was a positive start, wasn't it? Yeah, yes. It was a positive start. It got the crowd in the right mood.
Missing a chance in the 7th minute doesn't kill your game, all right? It's fine. Same as Daniel James in the 16th minute forcing a good save from the goalkeeper. Doesn't ruin your game.
No, very good save.
Pinning them back in. He had a good game.
Deflection. Yeah. He was the man of the match for me.
Oh, of course he was. As much as we're obviously going to discuss the best Leeds player. Yeah.
He was the one who basically kept the score as it was.
26th minute, Shackleton hits the post. Shaq when it's the post, right? Which again is another warning that West Brom should have heeded. Which they did.
None of these chances were. Let's be honest. You were angry after these chances. I mean, they were all good chances and well executed. It was just obviously the deflection to the save, and then it was just a little bit over it, and then obviously the post. I mean, it was all positive.
What do you think of the third jersey? Is that the fruit salad one?
It's awful.
I'm gonna get it though.
I think
I know I am.
There's someone at Adidas that thinks, okay, we'll have a laugh with these.
Yeah. The main reason I like getting the away/third shirts is because you can wear them, and if you spill something down it, you can get away with it a lot longer than you can with a home shirt.
Yeah, the home shirt, you can't even have a bacon sandwich and touch yourself, can you?
Exactly. It's why I prefer the
minute it's got that stain on it as well, it's ruined.
Exactly. Like the away shirts are never better to look at, but they are better to actually wear in your day-to-day life. But
I've got a drawer full of like old Leeds shirts, white ones and yellow ones, the same, and they're all covered in. When I was a roofer, they're all covered in roof tar now because they got a mark on them at some point that was. You couldn't wear it anywhere because of that mark, so they go in the work clothes drawer then, So I've just got a drawer full of old Leeds shirts that I can't really wear.
I had a 95-96 Thistle Hotels shirt with your boa on the back, and I regret this to this day. No, it was the white home shirt.
The white.
But I regret that I used it. I was into, like when you're a child, you get into things for like a week and then you move on to something else.
Yeah.
Well, on this particular week, I got into Warhammer and I was painting these little figurines and got paint down the Leeds home shirt. So it just became my like shirt that you wear whenever you know you're going to get messy. And I regret it because it's great shirt as well. So
it became your apron.
It did, but it really shouldn't have. Like. Anyway, Mark hated Alien. That's exactly what happened. I like making Angel Delight and Butterfly Cakes, if people must know. What I hated was Alien was shite, and he was the one who got Leeds the point. We're going to get into that, Mark, but yeah, basically that's a fair consensus. One day we'll wear an orange, yellow away kit. Come on, Bill. And then Dan James should do a lot of things. I've never met his girlfriend.
I did take another note from that first half. They had two half chances, didn't they? One was where Alien was just nowhere down their left-hand side.
It was the moment I knew we were in the Championship, because a Premier League team, it would have been 1-0 up the opposition, 1-0 the opposition.
And the other time it came over from their right, and Alien was in the middle of the goal, well out of position, and I think they fluffed it. But I did take note that I think at some point I commented or something that, look, should we have Billy Alien out now? Or should we wait till he scores?
Sorry, Bandy, the badge on that shirt, it was really tiny, wasn't it? Like more tiny than other Leeds shirts, right?
It had LUFC and then it had the little Leeds badge above it, the little white rose.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense. But I remembered the flower being like exceptionally small.
The flower was tiny, right at the top. It was about as big as it is on this.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah,
the old LUFC in like blue stitches.
Alien's the best right back we have. Damn, Tom, what shirt to do it to? I'll regret to this day, BX. I'm stupid now, so imagine how stupid I was when I was 9. Roy Hodgson plays Warhammer, probably.
Did anybody get the Regal King size shirt? Do you remember the Ross McCormack with the? Was it the Enterprise Insurance with the fucking Regal King size fucking blue? Right?
I hated those. Those.
Macron, wasn't it? What awful shirts they were. I think I got one Macron shirt, and the collar came away from the shirt. It was that cheaply stitched.
Right, I don't know if I'm wrong in saying this, but my feeling during that first half was West Brom have not tested the goalkeeper yet. And the problem is that when Melier gets tested, we tend to go 1-0 down. But in the 51st minute, Meslier was tested. We didn't go 1-0 down. Save onto the post. And it was beautiful.
And on that performance, because of that save, I wouldn't dislodge him from being number one because he's not lost his position. For me, do you know,
it was good save.
He's not done any. None of the goals to me this season have been down to him. Maybe could have moved a bit more on some of them, but they're not his fault. And for me, other than his distribution's a bit shit, he's not done anything to piss me off and say, right, I want Darlow in now, do you know? But inevitably, I think Darlow's the better goalkeeper.
I want to say welcome to Sam Greenwood, who saw some of the game. Do I get a medal?
No, you would have got a medal last season for sticking it out. But this season, no, you don't get a medal.
Noel Whelan, what a legend. And I was going to say it like this, because obviously that happened in the 51st minute, and we'll let Mark say it. And a minute later, in the 52nd minute, the resulting corner...
I still don't know what happened. It was like... it was just in the net,
It was like time slowed down and no player in a white shirt could get control of the football. And then it was in the goal.
I'd just like to point out that this is my quality photo. You're about to get it. It is.
Yeah, you're about to get my potato version, okay? But to be fair, this player who takes the shot earlier in the game had committed a deliberate handball, which he avoided being booked for, and then he pulled Daniel James down when he was obviously going to run through on goal, where he got a rightful booking. But so naturally, the sod's law in football, and especially to Leeds, that player not being sent off is going to do something to hurt you. Is that a fair statement? The law of averages of sod's law. So then his shot lands on...
I will praise Andy Hinchcliffe. He was as agreed as we was.
The shot from this lad lands on the arm of this lad and then naturally wrong foots Meslier.
Somewhere in the middle. He's in the middle of that blur.
Yes. In the first half, it looked like should have had formation, one more in midfield. James is an annoying player, isn't he? Always doing the wrong thing. It's probably one of his better games this season. Like the thing with Dan James is that if his quality was half as good as his effort, he'd be a better footballer. Is that fair to say?
Dan James is right. Is his legs are quicker than his brain, and he can get you up that wing, but when he gets there, there's either a crap cross or he'll run into trouble. But
you know the movie Twins?
This game, I'm not going to criticise him because he was our best player and he created and he kept running and he defended well and he got the assist. So,
Ben, you know the movie
Wait
Twins?
till you play tomorrow night. I'm going to watch you and then slate your wingers.
You have Arnie and Danny DeVito, right? But Twins in football is Daniel James and Adama Traore, because other than their build, they are the same person. As in speed, incredible. Everything else in football, bang average at best.
Headless chickens, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Apart from their build, being the only difference. Yeah. It's true.
We'll get to that question very shortly, Bambi, about VAR. I don't hate VAR. I do hate VAR, but I have a very strong point to make, which...
Well,
is it now?
I can do it for you now, yeah. Based on this,
very strong point.
Basically, someone who will go unnamed, no, that's not fair. We'll call him, we'll say his first name initial is B. I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah. Send an email to the English Football League saying, I would like to know why you still haven't got VAR in the EFL.
Before anybody starts, right, this person wasn't in the mood for commas and full stops. So... there you go. But yeah,
I would like to know why you still haven't got VAR in the EFL. It's been tested. Football should be an equal playing field. The fact it's only in the Premier League is nothing short of criminal. It's unfair in cup ties, etc. If clubs can't afford the technology, how about you get your hands in your pockets and help? You've made plenty of money fining Leeds over the year. years. So when can we expect it?
I'm not a fan of it, but
Well, we already have it,
saved
to
us
be
in
fair.
this game. It would have saved us in this game, and the fact that it all depends on whether you get a. And I know this isn't the EFL's fault; it's technically an FA competition, but the EFL should bring their grounds up to standard for me. And if you get say you're Wrexham, and you get a home draw against Manchester City, and you have a shot, right, that's deflected off the line by a hand, right, and nobody sees it, you're out of the cup, right? But if that happens at Man City, you've won 1-0 because they've got VAR. So it's not a fair playing field. It's biased. So you either have it in one league or one game, or have it in none.
It's true.
Or,
I think from like the third round onwards, they should turn it off. Either supply it so together, every game has it.
They should bin it all together, right? And then there's no argument, is there? Let's get back to slaying referees for shit decisions instead of waiting 10 minutes to slay an idiot watching it on a screen.
Yeah, they are. That's the annoying part of it.
That was my thought, right? That was my thought when that handball came. I just thought, well, I know we ain't got VAR, and I know I spent a lot of last season slaying VAR, but it should be there. If it's in one game, it should be in every game. It's a case of a few cameras.
Well, yeah, because I remember there being an FA Cup game where I think it was Cheltenham versus Man City. Man City scored a goal which would have been ruled offside had the VAR system been there, but it wasn't, so it wasn't. And then obviously won. It's Man City against Cheltenham. But then I sometimes sit there and feel like, why do you need help from the technology to beat Cheltenham? Or from the lack of the technology, or you know what I mean. But I would happily sell Nketiah to Leeds. He'll score a few goals for you. He'll shag Curious, Bamford in the showers. Well, that's not PG. Just get rid of it. I don't like VAR. Should be ref's call. A ref getting decision wrong for me is one of the best talking points of a weekend. Without ref watch, Dermot Gallagher has nothing to do all week. Hello, Colonel Ward. So get back into the game. Another contentious moment, filmed by the Potato. Kit Pere did a tackle on Joe Gelhardt, which got a big penalty shot. What did you make of it?
I think he got a nick.
He got the ball, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Look, but I've seen him given even with a nick on the ball because it was excessive force coming through the back of him, and I do feel 10 yards up the pitch, nick on the ball or not, that's a free kick.
Yeah, BX, the Championship does not have VAR. It's only Premier League grounds that have the technology. Now, I don't know if that actually means we still have it, but they just leave it switched off. Because why would you uninstall it in case
we'll still have it's basically it's a series of cameras in certain positions that are all linked up to a whatever it is that sends it to fucking wherever they watch it. But all the mounts and everything will be there. It just won't be linked up to the system, I reckon. So
just want to say, sorry, Ben, just quickly want to say hello, Ben, the other Ben from Arizona.
Evening, Ben. How
Welcome.
are you?
Thank you for your time. Yeah, Glenn's getting me, and then pleasantries in the chat. So I think we're in agreement. That's not a penalty, right? Because he does get the ball. He certainly gets enough of the ball. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have loved it if the ref had gone penalty. Of course, I would.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm not delusional either.
You would have been right to argue that if you'd have given a penalty, you could assume it. Yeah, it's a penalty. You got the argument either way. But I always like to think, look, if it was them against us, would I have been claiming for that nick on the ball? And of course I would. So
need to have taken VAR out because we are not going up. Jesus Christ! What happened, Bandy? What happened this week?
You've gone from we're playing great football.
Does he listen to what we're
You all
saying
right,
and
my
just
brother?
just say the
Are you
opposite?
all right, Bandy? Do you want me to come
Is he
see
all
you?
right?
Bring some special.
So following on from that, we get up, dust ourselves off, 66th minute. Daniel James forces another save from Palmer. Great save.
That was a better save. Yeah.
Great,
Yeah,
phenomenal save, to be fair.
Yeah.
I managed to catch that picture, by the way. Like, you can actually see what's going on, which is a rarity for mine.
You can actually see some people in the crowd. I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, is it? Wow. Yeah, I was so excited when I got that one. I was like, wow, I can tell what's happening. And then we hit the 73rd minute of the contest. The ball comes out and we go back to potato view, where the ball was just left. I believe the ball was just left Aylin's head. And
right, hold on.
Then,
for all those, we'll go back.
Yep.
For all those in
No
the
problem.
UK that were born before the 1980s, this is a spot the ball competition.
Where is the ball? I mean, I know it has literally just it's left his head, but yeah. But here it is in real time. Actually, that's a wrong sentence. It's not real time at all. But yeah, Alien, and then he celebrates it like he should, like a warrior.
And at this point, right, I had the most mixed emotions that I've had as a long time as a Leeds fan, and I was actually pissed off it was Alien. I was overjoyed with equalised, but I was pissed off it was Alien, as Mark will probably vouch. I actually had to take it back what I just said about him. But he was awful. It was awful. And I love Bill Alien. What a guy. What a lovely guy. But I don't want... My postman's a lovely guy, do you know? I don't want him playing right back for Leeds.
Do you think they should try him further up?
He's given a great service. He's well, maybe try him a bit further up the pitch, because he's not bad going forward. His shooting's a bit.
That's what I mean. Like, put Drame behind him, but then have him on the wing. I mean, it's not like
I feel he does a lot of things without thinking it through, Luke Ayling, and I feel that a lot of his play that pulls off is down to luck. And look, he's been great for us, and I do like the guy, and he's a character. But you've got to hit a point, right, where you know in yourself you're not good enough. Must be a point where you're chasing that ball back for 50th time for the season or whatever, and you're only 5 games in, that you think, I'm just not quick enough, or do you know?
Yeah, what I was going to say, what upsets me about him is that he's still at the club.
I agree with you, Bandy.
And that's not because I hate him. He should be one of a group of players that we revere for being the ones that got us out of the doldrums.
Yeah.
But then he wasn't
left
upgraded
and rot away, yeah.
That's why I'm upset. Not at him specifically. I'm upset at the idea that he's been done dirty by the management to stay, to save a bit of money, essentially. So that the money they got when he got bought out was maximised. But
no, I've got nothing against Bill Ayling. He's just not good enough.
He
might be all right to have. Look, he might be all right to have on bench, and then someone gets injured, or you need a change. 20 minutes to go, and game's comfortable. I don't mind, you know, or maybe try him somewhere else. But inevitably, he's not a right back anymore. And
I know players as they get older get moved backwards to so their running's less and stuff like that. But they should try him on the wing, especially now we haven't got one.
As well, we've got Drame, who's pretty much the same. The ball goes over his head and he's chasing it back, but I feel he'll have a bit more to offer going forward.
Oh, when I say we haven't got one, I mean we're an injury away from being like we've got no winger.
Yeah, we're an injury away from we haven't got a fullback. Because for me, we've got right backs. Byron's a right back.
Yeah. I guess my point is more. I'm upset that Ayling, Bamford, Forshaw, Dallas, etc., were put in the position they were put in.
Yeah.
They're put in a position of
Have we
foul
gone
over
from
time,
one
essentially.
injury away from no wingers? How have we? We had an abundance of wingers. That's what we had, about 10 of them, didn't we?
Our wingers are on strike, mate. Like the actors.
Oh dear.
But
you could do a Hollywood movie, couldn't you? Leeds United. So
sure
anyway,
could.
yeah, that led us to Ayling, who I was annoyed that it was him that scored, but I was overjoyed as well. And fair play, it was a bullet header. It was. The defending was suspect, of course it was, but he was in the right place, the right time. Dan James finally got across.
Am I in answering this? Am I right in saying that Daniel Farker expects his right and left back to basically function as wing backs, like going forward, like they're meant to overlap?
Sort of did at Norwich, didn't they? They were very attacking at Norwich.
Yeah, obviously they have a lot of the ball.
Defend as well. Max Aarons could defend. I don't know the other fullback. I can't think. But I go back to that game where they hammered us at home, and their fullbacks were causing us problems. So yeah, I think he likes to attack with them.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I've got to say this. Colonel Ward probably knows more about Leeds than we all do because he's been playing as Leeds on Football Manager. On his channel, it's there. You can find it. He's been Leeds on Football Manager. He knows more than the experts.
Has he won anything?
I've never called myself.
Has he won anything with us?
He managed to get 34. I think it's 34 million for Patrick Bamford. Was it off Brighton?
Do you want a job at Leeds?
Oh yeah. To be clear, he basically gutted
we
the
managed
team
to
in the
get
first
nothing
summer.
for about 10 players.
Yeah. I watched his first video and I was sitting there like, this doesn't feel like the Leeds team because you've sold all the players. But then he started winning all the matches and I was like, all right, I can get behind this. But no, I don't know. He's gone somewhere, isn't he, Tavares?
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the game. In the 74th minute, Gelhardt manages to potato another shot. You can see it there. The goalkeeper has just parried it. All right, it's there. Okay. I recognise. I think Rhiannon's in the crowd. No, I don't know. So then the game sort of. Was you disappointed in the 90th minute how there were 7 minutes put up and then that 6 minutes was just spent defending throw-ins?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was disappointed with 7 minutes, to be honest. And I think watching them throw-ins, there was a bit of delaying during that, and he blew up bang on 7, didn't he? And I thought, well, there's another minute to go. I thought the same in one of the games I watched today. It was the final, yeah. I thought they give 13 minutes, and they then persisted to time waste for 7 of them 13 minutes. And she didn't give any, but she was awful. Do you know what I've got a massive problem with? Right, it's the sexism in women's football. We've got female referees and lineswomen and whatnot, but they're all female officials and the shit. We should give them our shit officials. There was nothing. There was not a man anywhere near that cup final on the BBC today as well. And it's like, well, when I'm watching Match of the Day, you stick a woman on and she chats shit, and it's like she's got the knowledge of football what I had when I was 5. They just say the obvious things that everybody knows. It's like your knowledge isn't that in depth, do you know? The standard of football you played at is absolutely fucking shocking. And I think some of the teams that I played with would beat the England women on today's performance. But anyway, back to the game.
I personally I personally think that was one of the better World Cups because you weren't getting.
Yeah, it was. I'm not slaying
you weren't getting
no.
13-0 blowouts like you were in the previous one.
Yeah.
It
I was
the
just
illusion of
final.
more competitive. No, I know what you mean. I just wanted.
Spain were great. Spain showed that women can pass a football. England.
I actually found it quite disappointing in the lead up to the final match. The assumption that the England team were definitely going to win because they're European champions. For context, in England, like on English social media, English media. And it was like, but you're
Yeah.
playing a team that's basically comprised of the players that win the Champions League more years than they don't. And you're just assuming we're going to beat them. And we didn't. And with respect, we didn't look close to beating them.
Ballon d'Or winner sat on bench, you know.
Yeah,
our Ballon d'Or winner's aging, and she's tired out, and she's played every minute of the World Cup. You know, I just thought they were poor today, and I've seen them play a lot better. Don't get me wrong, but that just reminded me today. England's performance today just reminded me of the levels of difference between our football and theirs.
But before we get back onto Leeds, I thought it was nice to see some true equality between the two genders of the national football team, because they also choke at the final hurdle as well. So
yeah,
just like the men did. So,
which brings me to the FA chairman's comments when they were discussing the female football manager, the female version of Sven, and he said they were discussing whether she could replace Southgate, and I
thought it was really unfair on her.
Yeah, but he said it's not a step up. How is that not a step up? Going from managing England, and there's nothing to do with sex here whatsoever. This is pure football levels. How is it not a step up? It's about 1 million steps up.
I bet it's more than 1 million steps up in pay.
Yeah. It's like going from, I don't know, Accrington Stanley reserves to England manager. It's like David Hockaday.
Yeah, exactly right, exactly right. But I saw that, and then people talking about it like, oh, if she wins this, then she can get the job. Like, she could go for Gareth Southgate's job. And it's like, that's really unfair on her, because now that they've not won it, it makes her failure seem bigger, even though she never had anything to do with that discourse. Or she never at any point turned around and went, I want Gareth Southgate's job. I'm going to wait for him to leave it. But now it's going to look like she
hasn't even made a decision on whether she's going to continue with her own contract. You know,
exactly. And to be fair to her, she clearly knows her stuff, and she's clearly got a tune out of this team in the context that this is her only competitive loss in like 35 games,
He was trying to look woke and equal. Is what he was trying to do in his comments.
He wanted people to think that he's really he wanted people to think, he's really progressive. It's like, no, being really progressive would have been giving her that job when it comes up.
Yeah.
Or giving her the chance at getting it. You know what I mean? Like, not bringing it up just before she's about to have the most important football match in her career. I don't think it helped her.
If she did apply for that job, stick to what you said and give the best person the job. Not
of course.
Because we've just done a snippet and she's a woman.
Yeah.
If she's good enough for the job, fair play. And I think she's done a great job. Don't get me wrong. She's brought that team on leaps and bounds. She's won a trophy.
Yes.
I'm not taking away what she's done, but I'm with you there. His comments were just. But then the questions never popped up.
No, of course not. For context, Phil Neville was the manager of that team before, and they were these players were terrible, and they're professionally paid players, and they were bad, disorganised. Results were not great. And she changed that. Like, to her credit, she's changed that. So
she changed it very quickly as well.
Yes. But we digress. We'll go back to the end of the contest, basically, where the ball drops. Ruta doing what he should have done at various other points in the game, made space for himself, had a crack on goal, very close. Could have been a goal. It wasn't. But if he does more of that, it will nestle in that bottom corner at some point, I feel.
I think he took the wrong choice of shot. He put laces through it, didn't he? And it sliced. Whereas he should have put some bend on it into the corner. But anyway, he's a lot better than I am.
Well, the thing is, though, we don't always know that because they never play him. Yeah. But then Daniel Parker with a serial killer look on his face, and Corberan. And what do you think of Farker? Because I quite like him.
I like him. I didn't. And do you know what it is? I don't even know why I didn't like him. It was, I think he bored me on his Norwich interviews, because when I sort of took notice of him, it wasn't in the Championship. It was when they were getting spanked every week in the Premier League. And he just got to this point where it seemed acceptable to be losing every week, you know, in his interviews. And I get it must be fucking painful getting beat every week and then having to go in front of the cameras. But I like his attitude towards picking players, hence the Sonny Perkins thing. I like some of what he's trying to do with what I can see on the pitch. I think he's been put in it. He took the job knowing the situation, he's basically said. So fair play to him. If you know that's what you're up against and you still take that job, then fair play.
Right, let's get these things. Sorry, Ben, let's get these things. Yeah, you're right. Let's get these things clear. Every manager that joins Leeds says the right things. Every interview, it's like he says the right things, says the right things. But he is saying slightly different right things, as it like everyone, like you can play bingo, big club, massive club, play football the right way.
He's being honest, as honest as he can be with what information he can give out. For me, but
these are things that Graffia was saying. Bielsa's obviously godlike, but everyone between Bielsa and now has said these things. But he is basically saying he could turn around and go, I want Sinisterra to play because we need him, essentially. But instead, he's like, if he don't want to be here, he can train on his own and fuck off. And that's his best player.
Yeah, I like that.
It takes a lot of stones to tell your player that he's not in the group.
I also like the fact that he's explained that there's three of them on their own. And he's explained that it's all three different issues. He's defended Elder Costa, which is fair, because Elder Costa's not kicked up any fuss. He wants away. We want him away. That's fine, you know. So he's defended his integrity. He's done the same to some extent with Sinisterra. Obviously, he's explained that it's contractual. He's not actually doing an on-tour, but still wants away. But if he's doing it the right way, fair play. And then obviously
we owe a payment.
He's just said, "Fuck off, William Onto." Yeah.
I don't know this for fact, but I've read, so this could be entirely untrue. But apparently, he's played 24 games, and 25th game triggers a payment to Feyenoord. So it may be a bit of we don't want to play him to pay it.
Right.
But it's become the narrative that he doesn't want to play. So it might be like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Yeah. That's not necessarily fact.
Yeah.
It's just,
no disrespect to any of the daily lead shows, but what's true and what isn't is just anyone's guess on half the news that gets reported around Leeds United. And what we see with these 49ers is they don't really tell you what they're doing until 10 o'clock at night when it's done.
Well, Daniel Farker is their spokesman, basically, because the only things we find out about the club are when he steps out in front of the camera. And I'm kind of okay with that, because our previous regime did nothing but talk, and it always ended up being things that left us with egg on our face.
I couldn't stand listening. Do you know, I think it was after 2 press conferences with that guy, I stopped watching them. It's just crap coming out of his mouth. Listen to me. Randy was having kittens.
And so then,
hey Lolo,
the game obviously everyone knows the game finished 1-1. Oh, hello Lolo. Are you
back from Spain? I had a nice holiday, mate.
Is the Stoop returning on? I didn't forget name. It's Friday. It's Friday. Of course it'll be back Friday. Of course it will. I'll submit some betting picks if they're welcome. Might as well go through just the results of the weekend, right? In the Championship. Just for the sake of it.
Southampton have picked up some points again. They're going to be in it for me. I don't even know. I was looking at these results, right, thinking, is there any point yet of looking to to we're going to be up against, and what results are significant. And for me, the only results that are significant right now are, in my mind, are Leicester and Southampton, because they're the two teams that I want to be very close to all season.
We're chasing them down, and we're already behind the 8 ball,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think Leicester are going to hold up.
The thing is, like, I noticed, because I watched the end of the Southampton game, and basically the ball literally drops as perfect as it can for Shea Adams at the back post in the last minute, and he just buries it, right? And I sat there. I'll tell you, this was something that happened, and then I said to my dad, why don't the ball ever drop like that for us? And he turned around and went, well, against Leicester it did, and Bamford missed. And that therein is like, it's football.
The only thing when it comes to Southampton is they let 4 goals in against Norwich. Norwich are looking all right, but they've had a good start. But we've got the league leaders, haven't we, next week? But to me,
it's interesting you say that.
We shouldn't be looking at it as we've got the league leaders. We should be looking at it, we've got Ipswich who just come up.
Yeah. We're already looking at where's our first win going to come from.
I'm not for 1 minute saying that it's going to be any conclusion that we go to Ipswich. It's a long way to travel. I think, didn't they relegate us 1 year? I kicked the toilet seat through on my toilet. Yeah.
I don't think
they relegated us 1 year. They equalised. No. Yeah. When we went down into League One, we played Ipswich.
I thought we lost to Derby on that day. I don't know. Anyway, I know we lost to Ipswich the last time we played them, because that was the final game of the first Bielsa season. Because obviously Bielsa can't say Ipswich, the word, which was always amusing.
Yeah,
Chelsea would struggle in the Championship now. Yeah, he would go Ipswich. Brilliant.
I don't think Chelsea would struggle that article just yet.
No. Although their £110 million or whatever it is they paid for Caicedo, giving away a penalty in injury time, wasn't the most auspicious debut. I don't know if it was a debut.
Good,
but anyway. Yeah.
Man, you look great though.
Man United are incredible. Norwich look good against Millwall. The problem is that Norwich have this habit of not starting well and then stringing results together at this level, like Farke did. Farke's start was terrible with Norwich. We won there 3-0, and then he didn't lose a game for another 4 or 5 months.
He had half a season. Did he, before?
He did the season before, and I think he got mid-table.
They were mid-table. Yeah, they were exactly like us, weren't they? They were 13s, they were 14th, all the way around.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Round of applause to Caicedo. Yeah, well done. So let's have a look at the Championship table.
Even the year they come up, they took the time getting going, because we spanked them at Norwich. Remember, it was 3-0. It was like the third game into the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then, and then, because Norwich fans all were like, they were actively discussing whether Farke should get the chop. But then Farke then didn't lose for 5 months following that.
You've got to take some hope out of this, right? Because we all saw what the Birmingham game was. And Birmingham were dross. They were as bad as us. They just got a penalty, and they're unbeaten.
There you go. Birmingham are sat 4th. The Tom Brady bounce, allegedly. But what? I still love, in the Cardiff game, that Russell Westbrook.
Has he solely bought them out, or has he invested?
Nah. He's like a minority owner, but he just went to the game.
I'm gonna say, because he ain't got the money that can transform a football club.
Nah. He's got enough money that they can use his face to get the club out there, like doing what we do, essentially. Yeah. But so fair play to him. And then just for completionist's sake,
I don't even like Jordan Spieth. I think he's a dick.
This is the thing with this though. It's like, so we're 19th. being 19th in the Premier League was pretty harrowing. We're now 19th in the Championship. But the thing is, with the Championship, it's so tight that 2 wins put you, what? Well, 2 wins, you go into the top 6. Yeah.
It's going to be a long season, isn't it?
Yeah. Championship's going to be more intense this season than back alley
night. A lot of emotions, a lot more grey hairs, a lot more balding. Yeah. You want to look after them hairs you've got there, Tom. You'll end up bald.
Well, I'm halfway there, but so what are we doing now? Sorry.
So we got next Ipswich. So yeah, what you're expecting from
Ipswich on Saturday? You know what? It's really hard to call what to expect. I mean, obviously we expect to win. Got to win.
We don't know what if we're going to buy anyone, if we're going to start. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, we don't even know what we're going to turn up there with. We don't know what weapons we have. The moment you realise Millwall have more points, damn it, Colonel Ward. Why are you trying to ruin my Sunday night? That's not a challenge. But the thing that you've got to keep in mind is we've got to keep going. As long as we keep ourselves as close to those teams, the relegated sides, as possible for the transfer window. Because I don't want to come out of the transfer window and be in a relegation battle. It'd be ridiculous.
No. I think it's a must win for us. We need to start. We need to get that win, get that monkey off our back, and start picking points up.
Yeah, this is the thing, though, Ian. Playing well and not winning is a thing like, you don't worry about it after 3 games. But then eventually it becomes 10. The knack of the Championship, you play twice a week. It then becomes 10 games and you're like, when are we searching for our first win? And that's when you're in trouble.
Yeah, it needs to just come, and then that's that. You can bounce on from that, can't you? I get it's 3 games. I'm not judging our season on 3 games, but the win needs to come sooner rather than later.
Because if we don't get anything against Ipswich, we'll then be sat here this time next week going, we really need to beat Sheffield Wednesday.
We could be bottom.
Yeah, and they're not going to roll over for us because they hate us as well.
Yeah, we've got them soon as well, haven't we? Oh.
Yeah. You got 10 people watching. People must love Leeds. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. I think people are supporting us more than Leeds, which obviously we appreciate. Welcome, Spencer from Virginia. Bronco, because he's a Denver Broncos fan.
So, you got anything else to add, Mr. Tom?
No. I feel like we've pretty much covered it. Off the top of your head, like not planning, is there any player like you think we can realistically get? And so personally, I've not really thought about this. But is there any player off the top of your head you think we can realistically get and is coming in?
You see, I don't know who to believe that we are interested in. I'm not bothered about Joel Pirro, to be honest, if he's signing a new deal at Swansea.
I've never seen him kick a ball, so it'd be disingenuous for me to get excited.
I was a little bit gutted we didn't get Hamer, to be honest. I thought he would have been a nice addition. He seems a good little player. He scored a nice goal the other day as well for Sheffield. Who would I like? It's not a decent number 10. That's my priority. That and a left back. So, but we have got one more thing to do.
Yes, we have, quite rightly. But do you not think it feels like Daniel Farke's tactic hinges on a 10 to pull the strings? Definitely. Which he currently doesn't have, so it's very hindered.
A bit of space and see that pass.
Exactly right.
I think we should have the clone of Prime Pablo and just, enjoy him again.
Do you want me to press it?
Not really. Yeah, because I can't find it.
No problem. It's time for Mr. Tom's question of the week. 1 second, let me remove that. Mr. Tom's question of the week. which is, what year did Eddie Gray make his Leeds United debut, and how many appearances did he make for the Whites?
We'll give you 20 seconds.
Yes, you have 20 seconds from now. I wish I knew how to do the countdown theme.
I just did it. You got to stop it there, hasn't you?
Yeah. Okay.
I like it, Ian.
So
you get 10 points.
Ian said the answer is 1919. Ian playing the role of Anders. Where is Anders? I'm gonna chase him up on the Instagram.
1986.
Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck are up for sale, but 49ers would not even get them in. They would be pretty expensive.
In 1982, so how are they going to make his
1986,
debut? You were 20 years out. You was 20 years out. Shall we reveal it?
354. I will gladly reveal it. The answer is
very
1st
close
of January
on
1966, 577.
Go. Long may that continue with his nephew, his great nephew. And 52 goals.
52 goals.
Right. I think
Not
that's
bad,
a wrap,
not
my
bad.
friend.
Yeah.
Be sure to watch The Stoop on Friday and The Trip on Monday and The Full Nelson on Wednesday. And whatever else.
That sounds right, yeah.
Arsenal
Gary
Fan
do the
Circle
trip.
and
yeah.
And anything else
Gary does the
that you want to
trip.
watch.
There's loads of YouTube content for your teams. And YouTube's not known for football content. Yeah, don't watch that. Don't watch that. Well done, boys. Cheers. I really appreciate it. We're not professionals, but we just try and provide a platform for
we're just
discussion and opinion. It's just the things we would usually just talk about on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Really. Sorry, I meant to say.
Paying you lot with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, anything you want to say to anyone, Ben?
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Same time. There's no midweek game, so thanks for joining us.
Thanks we'll be back this time next week. Yeah,
same
really
back
cool.
Time,
really
same
cool.
back channel.
Yeah.
Players out.
Yeah, the West Batman is great. Yeah. Oh, got video, haven't we? Yeah, got get that. Yeah. Apologies.
Good night.
Have a good night, everyone.